AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with are.
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't. But she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that.
Is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.
Person Crockett is part of the new trend where informality is okay, where formality used to reign. Okay, fine. That's been going.
A podcaster talks or some shit. Fuck it, man. Can you imagine, I don't know, Obama saying, man, dude, this shit is whacked and fuck it. Just slap me. I'm fucking over it. I mean,
chaos burst onto live television before anyone had time to catch their breath. As the pressure built, viewers sat wide-eyed, glued to their screens as a heated clash unfolded. This wasn't a small misunderstanding. Across social platforms, people buzzed about the intense argument that took center stage. Bill Maher called out well-known figures Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Jasmine Crockett, insisting he could see past their polished images. He argued that the Democratic Party has become more focused on attention-seeking moments than on steady, long-term decision-making. According to him, real leadership is being traded for quick headlines, and he made sure his thoughts echoed across the country, challenging their actions openly and boldly on national.
Trans people filming us in the bathroom. How many of these trannies are taking selfies? These men are taking selfies in women's spaces, in the bathroom. It's gross. It's disgusting. So if we're going to talk about civil rights, let's talk about the rights of women in this country and how you are stripping them away every single day. And you're doing it in your legislation, you're doing it in your messaging, you're doing it on X. You're making women feel unsafe in this country. And you're making the opportunity for women and girls to be raped, to be sexually abused in this country, even greater than they've ever been. So don't come over here with your attitude and talk to me about rights when you're trying to take my rights as a woman, a rape survivor, away. Thank you, Mr.
TV. This is the moment that snapped everyone to attention because Maher didn't show up unprepared. He arrived with what he described as solid evidence to support every point he planned to unleash. With one startling claim, he pushed the entire conversation to a new level, accusing these high-profile leaders of chasing nonstop attention instead of working toward real progress in government. He argued that the issue needed to be addressed immediately, or the purpose behind their efforts would fade away, replaced by what he saw as showmanship rather than thoughtful decision-making. As the argument grew even more heated, Crockett and AOC answered with sharp, fiery responses, sending a jolt of tension straight through the screen. Every sentence carried enough force to spark an even stronger back and forth.
How we got there, because I tried to make it clear how many civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want to find out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those emails actually have. Chairman, I am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order.
Point of order.
Order. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett.
No, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point.
Is it allowed in the rules for a member to incite violence against another member? I mean, she wants to take it outside with.
Hey, I have the First Amendment right too.
And so I'd like those words to be taken down. I am moving to have those words taken down. I believe it's against the rules.
Going outside doesn't incite violence. You have a conversation that isn't.
The committee will suspend. The member will state the words he wishes taken down.
Conversation rapidly spiraled into a fiery exchange, spotlighting the sharp gap between the everyday challenges regular people confront and the priorities held by those in positions of authority. From the force of the arguments alone, it was obvious this wasn't a small clash. Deep convictions, pressure, and clashing viewpoints all collided and demanded attention. Before the rising storm continued, there came a quick invitation for anyone who values clear, honest updates to tap the subscribe button, a friendly nudge to stay connected so major moments don't slip past unnoticed. And because this blow-up wasn't just a one-off spark, everyone's focus snapped back to the real source of the friction among Bill Maher, Jasmine Crockett, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. On national TV, it felt as if a long-building tension among well-known figures had finally burst into the open. Maher, known for his blunt delivery and sharp opinions, decided it was the moment to call out the Democratic Party directly. It was as if he'd been watching things drift for far too long, and he stepped into the conversation with full force. His point couldn't have been clearer. He believes some lawmakers care more about creating popular clips than pushing for meaningful change. That idea fueled the fiery exchange that followed. Maher argued for substance over flashy moments, while he viewed Crockett and AOC as focusing more on attention-centered strategies than steady policy-driven work. As the pace of the argument sped up, both Crockett and AOC stood ready to defend their approach. Maher, however, held firm in his criticism of what he saw as a growing trend that favors showy behavior over genuine progress.
I thought was apropos of what's going on the left. And by the way, if you watch the speech, I saw mostly the clips of it, and mostly it was people in the audience, the guy with the cane, people with, like, paddles. Oh, there's the cane dude. And then there's, okay, we're here's our pussy hat uniform. And these looks like you're at a auction signs. I mean, it was, John Fetterman called it a sad cavalcade of self-owns and unhinged petulance. I love him. I thought he should run last week. The Democrats seem so lost. And here's Jasmine Crockett, who is, I thought, a big leader in the Democratic Party. Her quote is, "This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up because I'm ready to get on with it." On with what would be my first question. And also, this is the way this is like how a podcaster talks or some shit. Fuck it, man. Can you imagine, I don't know, Obama saying, "Oh, man, dude, this shit is whacked, and fuck it, just slap me, I'm fucking over it."
She stepped forward with towering expectations on her shoulders, since AOC has long been linked with bold moves and a willingness to challenge established thinking. Everyone waited to see how she would respond. With millions watching, the pressure on her was unmistakable as she prepared to defend her approach. Maher's criticism, however, fueled her determination. She answered with even greater energy, emphasizing how her style resonates with younger audiences who appreciate a fresher, more spirited way of engaging. Her voice carried confidence as she made it clear that she stood firmly by her methods and wouldn't allow anyone to dismiss them without acknowledging the real impact they have on the people she aims
right now is that if we continue down this road, then we will not have a rule of law, because we have people that are currently serving and they're saying things like, ignore the judge's order. What it means to have law and order in this country is that you follow the order and you go through the appeals process, even if you dislike what the judge did. Thank you.
And I'm going to note that when Ms. Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC as we know her, filed articles of impeachment on Justice Thomas and Alito, Ms. Crockett was one of the co-sponsors along with Mr. Cohen, both members of this committee. It does seem interesting that when the shoe is on the other foot, everyone is self-righteous.
Wow.
And I think this is a good example. For the last 3 hours, I have had to listen to one side talking about impeachment as though it was the nature of this hearing.
To reach, she made it clear that her approach isn't about putting on empty displays. Instead, it's a modern way to reach a wider, more mixed audience, one that responds to excitement, clear messaging, and the platforms people actually use every day. Maher, however, wasn't willing to back down. He argued that this quick hit style could stall real progress by replacing thoughtful policy conversations with brief trend-based moments. The tension grew sharper as his pointed questions echoed through the room. Drawing on her long record of activism, AOC pushed back hard. calling his viewpoint outdated and disconnected from today's reality. Just as the exchange reached a boiling point, Jasmine Crockett suddenly cut in with fierce energy of her own, refusing to sit quietly and adding
is part of the new trend where informality is okay, where formality used to reign. Okay, fine. That's been going on since the 60s. So her routine is that she wants to bring a little bit of what I might quaintly call the ghetto cat fight into these spaces. I get it, you know, bring a blaxploitation movie or something into Congress. Great, work it. But you do not make fun of the fact that somebody lives their life in a wheelchair. That doesn't work. If she thinks that being black and fabulous gives her a pass on that, then she's got a really unfortunate sense of what black is.
Well, what do you think, Ricky?
Her voice to the escalating clash. Amid the rising noise, Crockett answered with fierce conviction, arguing that Maher's criticism missed the broader reality. Her approach, she said, wasn't about chasing attention, but about adapting to how information naturally moves in today's digital world. She explained that using platforms like Instagram and TikTok doesn't weaken the message at all. It actually strengthens it by meeting people where they already spend their time. Maher remained unimpressed, repeating his belief that these fast-moving moments lack real substance. To him, they create brief bursts of fame that disappear quickly, leaving little behind. The discussion quickly shifted into a representation and what modern political look like in an age where communication moves at lightning speed. As Crockett and AOC fought to explain their viewpoints, Maher pressed even harder. At one especially intense moment, he challenged whether their widely shared content might overshadow the genuine political achievements they've worked to secure. In his view, lasting progress comes from solid legislative wins, while short-lived popularity fades.
Example of when they go low, we go lower. And the Democratic Party is going to lose if they try to use kind of MAGA world tactics back at them. I think that if the Democrats want to succeed in the future, they need to be the party that is normal, that are stand-up people, that do not take the cheap shots back.
But I don't know. I'm not that upset about it. I'm really not. You know why? Because I'm a big fan of Family Guy. And they have... Am I wrong? Every week. I mean, one of the characters, Joe the cop, is in a wheelchair, and every week there's 20 jokes about him being in a wheelchair, and nobody died. And like, I just think everybody has to, like, lighten up a little. Yeah, it's terrible to be in a wheelchair, but, you know, it's not like it's news to him. I don't know. I'm a free speecher.
I adore Family Guy. I've seen every episode. But that wasn't a cartoon. This is real life, and she was saying it with dismissive hostility, as opposed to the cartoonish, we can get away with it because we're drawn. Jasmine Crockett is not drawn, and neither is Abbott. I see a distinction, although I see what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost as soon as it arrives. Voices from every corner of the political world burst into the conversation almost instantly. Commentators, analysts, and lawmakers all hurried to share their take, and the reaction mirrored the same tension that had shaken the earlier exchange between Maher, AOC, and Crockett. Some rallied behind the two congresswomen, repeating the point they had made on live television, that modern communication isn't a distraction but a tool shaped for the way people gather information today. They echoed AOC's argument that enthusiasm and clarity help younger audiences connect with messages that might otherwise go unnoticed. Supporters also repeated Crockett's reminder that platforms like Instagram and TikTok don't strip away meaning, they amplify it by meeting people where they already are. Others, however, leaned firmly toward Maher's warnings, agreeing that rapid-fire clips and viral moments risk overshadowing the patient policy work required to create real, lasting change. They revisited his claim that a growing focus on flashy moments might gradually replace deeper conversations, turning politics into a cycle of brief attention rather than progress. Congressman Eric Swalwell stepped forward to defend both AOC and Crockett, urging critics to recognize that traditional messaging simply doesn't reach audiences the way it once did. He stressed that if leaders want to stay connected, especially with young people who expect honesty, speed, and accessibility, then communication must evolve just as quickly as the world around it. By now, The party appeared to be standing at a turning point. On one side stood the call to keep substantial policy work at the heart of everything. On the other stood the growing pool of vibrant current-day engagement. With pressure rising, a larger question lingered. Can Democrats hold on to both substance and style, or will the new communication landscape begin to reshape the party's identity altogether?